What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the Addicted to Madden channel. Got some more Jaguars gameplay for you against the Eagles. Now I know that this is probably my fourth video against the Eagles, but this is only my second video against with using the Jaguars. So I wanted to show that just how I play with them. I use them the same way I use the Panthers. I put in the third string quarterback, who's Stephen Morris. He's really fast, so I like to put him in and run the read option with him. And he's a decent enough passer for me to still respectfully pass the ball as well. So I like to use him. And I mean, I have Blake Bortles as a backup, but like I said, I like the mobile quarterbacks. So I wanted to show some Jaguar gameplay. I'm gonna be splitting the time that I use. I'm still gonna use the Panthers just because they've got mobile quarterbacks too, and I'd like to use as many mobile quarterbacks as I can without using the teams that are too good. So I don't plan on using Seattle just because they're too good. I mean, even though I would love to use Russell Wilson, but Seattle's a little too good, so I don't want to use them. Same thing with the Niners. Even though they may be struggling in real life, but they're a good team, obviously. And the thing is, they also have one of their backup quarterbacks is a mobile quarterback. So Josh Johnson, whom I've used in the past in Madden. So. But again, I'm not going to use the Niners ever, so it just doesn't really matter, because they're too good. Some of the other mobile quarterbacks. There were a lot of mobile quarterbacks that were on teams in the preseason, but then they eventually got cut, so they're not in the game, or at least they're not on any team in the game, so I can't use them, unfortunately. But like I said, Stephen Morris, this guy's still there, so I can use him, with the Jaguars. And then, of course, the Panthers, who have both Cam Newton and Joe Webb, who are two of the most mobile quarterbacks in the game. So I'm still going to use the Panthers. I'm trying to think of some other teams that have some quarterbacks oh, well, yeah, that's right. You got Vic, and I will use the Jets. I absolutely will use the Jets. I might not use them that much, but I will use the Jets because I love Michael Vick. I've always liked Michael Vick as a Madden player. He's always been really good. So there will be some Jets gameplay at some point, maybe when I get a little bit bored, because I'm getting a little bored with the Panthers. I've played 25 games with them, and I think I won about 17 of those games, so 17-8. That's pretty good. I mean, that's more than 2/3 of wins, so that's pretty good. So I'm gonna start using the Jaguars a little bit more, and still use the Panthers, but probably using the Jaguars mostly. My only concern, though, with the Jaguars is they only have the one mobile quarterback, so if he gets injured, and he does get injured sometimes. I mean, I think in this game he gets injured, and there's been other games where he gets injured, so, I mean, which is my fault. I mean, because if I'm going to use a mobile quarterback and put him out there to take hits, he's going to get hurt at some point. But with the Panthers, they've got two of them, so, that's why I'll always still keep them I'll always still use the Panthers. Jaguars, I'll use them, but if it gets to the point where he's just really, really fragile, then I'll still probably use them, but just not use them as much, And then, of course, the Jets with Vic, who's probably fragile too. They probably made him very fragile in this game, but I'm still going to mix in some Jets gameplay as well. So you might see, just so I can get some of those videos out there, you might see if I end up playing against teams that I've already played against, you might see some gameplay like that. So I hope that doesn't bore anybody. But anyways, getting to the gameplay here, I got a 21-point lead. I called it titled this game the Jaggernauts. Jaguars, they're kind of being like Juggernauts here. I mean, 21-0. The guy was he wasn't believe it or not, he's not as bad as the score is, and in fact, even a little bit later in the game, to be honest with you, things end up kind of going my way a little bit. I mean, things like fumbles, I mean, that's up to the computer. I mean, that's and that's what I hate about fumbles, which is what I hated about Madden 25, because it's just a random thing that the computer just makes it happen, and a lot of times it can affect the outcome of games. I know I've definitely lost games because of a fumble, and I've definitely won games in the past because of fumbles. So I mean, it's a random thing, and obviously everybody's probably been a victim to it. I don't know how he came down with that catch, because I totally thought I picked that off, but nevertheless, good for him. I mean, fumbles is, even though it's a random thing, still, I mean, it affects games. I mean, I'm sure everybody has won games because of a fumble, and even lost games because of a fumble. So it evens out ultimately, I would say. But he finally scores 21-7. Just about a minute left in the third quarter, and I'm trying to milk the clock as much as I can, but I can't just only run the ball, because he is down by 2 scores. That's plenty of time for him to come back. So I still have to, mix in the pass with the run, and still move the ball down the field, and possibly have to score, some more points, get another touchdown. I mean, 2 possessions. I mean, he'd still have to get 2 straight possessions, but anything's possible. I mean, if he gets the ball back, he's gonna start throwing bombs. And at this point in the game, or at this point in me playing Madden 15, that is, I didn't know about how you could swat the ball away. So, I was fearing the bombs, and plus, I prefer to stick to zone coverage, but the problem with zone coverage is that you get one-on-one coverage deep, and that's always going to be susceptible to bombs. I don't want to play cover 2 man, because man coverage can be just as easily shredded. So, I usually don't do man unless it's like the very end of the game or the very end of the half. There's basically the game-ending fumble. I mean, I believe he ends up quitting after that, because what's the point? It's 35-7, and I've got just 2:45. So he ends up quitting. But I hope you enjoy this video. There'll be more coming.